I told them yesterday and still not convinced. I was hoping somebody would ask that question. The reason that I always argued with my mom, it's nothing to do with Chinese. I was never sided with Chinese, never thought Chinese government was doing anything right. It's nothing to do with Chinese, it's just me and my mother, personal. The story behind that is, my mom came out 2005, March of 2005. The film started getting shot since 2006. Now, at the time the film was getting shot, then my brothers and sisters got prison, all 4 of them. That's the time that I got so much, I was under so much pressure, and I was totally lost, and I always wanted to find a reason to blame on someone, because I just don't see the light in a dark tunnel. So the only thing I can blame is my mother. Every time we get together, we just fight, and I always ask her, maybe she should stop doing what she's doing, then try to go and let my brothers go. I said that, but I didn't mean it. I always say it, so then I say it when I fight with her. I felt a little better. I found a way to make myself a little bit comfortable, but toward the end, none of us won. I became so much miserable, and she always stopped doing what she's doing because I was so critical. And we probably fought about 3 years. I was never nice to her, and I'm sorry, I'm ashamed to say that. And especially in that part, every time I see it, I just wanted to disappear, because I was so rude to her, and I was really, you know, I still have to translate because I was the only translator there. My son didn't speak Uyghur, so I had to translate, but I was so rude, and I didn't even realize Jeff put that part in the movie. I was supposed to see it before it comes out. So. Anyway, it made a huge impact. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how I look, I was rude. I was true to my feeling, and that's just something that I struggled with. And the film, the Jeff was there at that time. So that's what happened. It's nothing that I was not supportive of my mother. 100% supportive. Sometimes she feels like she's down. I always encourage her, saying, well, we're not fighting for people outside of China. We're fighting for the people inside of China, stuck inside China, and that's how we're fighting for. So, you know, you go for it, and we're behind you. So I'm always 100% supportive of what she does. So I decided to stay in the United States with my dad, and my mom went back. So after the incident, her passport got confiscated. As far as the families, do I feel like my mom betrayed all of us? Yes, I did feel that way when the film was, like, when my brothers were in prison. That's why I was arguing with her all the time. And that wasn't the solution, actually it wasn't the case. The thing is, nature of the cause pushed her to be that way and in this way. And I can't blame her for helping 25 million Uyghur people in Eastern Turkestan. If she has to think about her family, then nobody is going to do this job as well as she does. So we, as a family, as a daughter, we all have to sacrifice a little bit. So in the film, I just wanted to say it that when my mom said, actually Jack said this, we had this conversation. When I told my mom, right before, actually Jack did not get that part. I said, first we need to get my brothers and sisters out before we help anyone. I don't care about Uyghur people. I don't care. I want my brothers and sisters out of prison. We help our family first. If you can't help the family, how can you help anyone else? So that was my dilemma all along. And my mother's answer was, yes, I chose the 25 million people. So if you have to fight with me for the rest of your life, you can fight, but I'm not going to back up on this one. So she really, the conversation really happened. She chose her people over her kids. It's very hard for us to contact is people in Eastern Turkestan. If we can if we want. It's not a big problem here in the United States or anywhere in the world. But the problem is once you call, doesn't matter. Our family, forget about our family. We're the biggest enemy of China. Just the regular students and the simple people in the United States. If they make a phone call, everybody's phone is tapped. The conversation cannot go beyond how are you, I'm good, and all that. If you ask any more questions, the family in trouble. And again, we have about 1,000 people in the United States, but we have majority of Uyghurs in Kazakhstan and Turkey. They have a better connection to Eastern Turkestan better than people in Europe. So, and then we made the connection with the people in Turkey and Kazakhstan so that they can convey the message to the people in Eastern Turkestan. That's how we connect, and that's how they know what my mom is doing for what she's doing for them. Can we get support from them? No, because they can't do anything. What happened last year in July 5th, that's exactly what happens when you do something against Chinese government, and there tens and thousands of people died, and Chinese government is still lying about what happened that day. We are not using our faith to try to overcome what's happening there, because it's not going to work. We all know that. It didn't work before, it's not working now, and it's not going to work. So what my mom is doing is actually, it's right. We gotta get help from the West. And as far as using our religion to get help from the Muslim country, it's not going to happen. They're not going to help because they themselves are so weak, and they always have problems within. And our neighbors always in bed with Chinese. So all neighbor countries are also Muslim countries. We're talking about Pakistan, Afghanistan, and all the countries in Russia. So they're all good with Chinese. The Chinese already bought them 5-10 years ago. So if anybody passes through the Chinese border to go to Pakistan or not Pakistan, Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, or Kazakhstan, run away from China, they turn them in. So we don't have any hope there. I can give you one simple answer. Uyghur people never stand with Chinese people as long as a drop of blood runs in their veins, and it's Uyghur. Doesn't matter you work for the government, doesn't matter you're working for the Chinese government as a spy, but in your heart, you're Uyghur, you support the Uyghur cause. They have no choice, that's why they work for the government. There's some Uyghur people, yes, they always look like they seem to be standing with Chinese, but they have no choice. They have to feed their babies, they have to support their families, they have to work. They don't have any other choice except saying, yes, you're right, and we're standing with you. But if it comes to the point where they have to shed blood, they will, because we've seen that last year, July 5th. So that's what happens. If anything happens to my mom, would I be willing to sacrifice myself like my mom did? I think in a sense, yes, I would. I think anyone would.